the 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I want to thank the individual that told me that there is no sign. I appreciate it. You know what? Hamburger 45. I'll start my introduction all over again. This is the Underground Railroad television show. I'm sorry about the technical problems. I haven't been on YouTube in a while, but who cares? Because there's millions of people that are on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. You told me not even to say that. I'm not even going to say who they is. Oh, you YouTubers. I was looking at it, vidIQ. vidIQ is where you get tips on YouTube. And the thing is, they said, don't tell them how long you've been off YouTube and what you've been doing because they don't care. They want you to get to the point. And I am Clifton RAHEEM Bradley, and this is the Underground Railroad television show. And you look at this t-shirt, we produce television shows in Chicago, and we film events. But let me get to the point, because, you know, I'm sure y'all didn't come for that. What is going on in the news? What is going on in the news? You know, what's going on in the news in Chicago? We're going to do local news. We're going to do national news. We're going to do global news. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. And we're going to talk about Joe Biden. We're going to talk about China. We're going to talk about Russia. We're going to talk about all this. We're going to talk about all this. Yeah, my little Yankees cap. I'm not from New York, but I'm from Chicago, the United States of America. My grandfather happened to love New York. Once he saw those bright lights in New York, he was hooked. But what happened? What is going on in the news? What's going on in the news locally? I'm going to start locally and then we're going to go nationally and globally. What's going on in Chicago, the United States of America? There is criminal activity that is on the rise in Chicago. There are individuals, probably in New York, probably in California, probably in these other provinces where they're stealing automobiles. They are stealing automobiles. And you know what? They're stealing automobiles. What happened is my daughter's car got stolen. And what they're doing is they're getting the muffler and they're taking titanium. It's some type of material. That I think not titanium. It's called platinum. And platinum is worth a lot of money. And you know what? That's in your muffler. Because in your muffler, I don't know where it's exactly where it's located at because I'm not a mechanic. One day, you know what, I'm going to have my friend Lee come on to talk about automobiles. But we're not talking about automobiles now, but I'm talking about in terms of fixing them. But what's going on is they're stealing automobiles, okay, and it's just so chaotic. It's so chaotic in Chicago. It's just chaotic. And the thing is, they're not recovering these automobiles. And our mayor in Chicago is Lori Lightfoot of Chicago, which this is a sanctuary city. And we'll get to that later on. But they're stealing these automobiles. And it's just bad. I feel so bad for people. And it's a record rate. Not only that, there's another issue about them stealing automobiles. First of all, get an alarm or get one of these I forgot what they call. You put it on your steering wheel. And the thing is, if they try to turn it, it locks in. But the thing is, get one of those, okay, and get an alarm for your automobile. But I guess a smart thief, not that the thief is smart, they can bypass all of that. But it's a preventive measure. It's a preventive measure. And the thing is, these chop shops that take these automobiles, they ought to be penalized. They ought to be penalized. And I'm so sorry about that. And in Chicago, the violence is rapid. Chicago is not the most dangerous city. It's not the most dangerous city in the United States of America. Contrary to common belief, some people believe that, some people don't. They say, hey, man, Al Capone, who was a gangster in Chicago, and it has a persona as being a terrible city. It is a terrible city, but it's not the baddest city in Chicago. That's something that I will say, you know. And my friend Minister Ben Willis did some research on that. And I thank him for that. He has a show called In the Mind of Minister Ben Willis. And I forgot his other show. I say it wrong when he get mad at me. But you know what? Tune in to him. But what happened is these automobiles, the people that own these chop shops, they ought to be taken care of. They ought to be taken care of. You know? So, and I am so sorry about nationwide. I was looking at the news. Looking at a report. I don't know if it was CNN or Fox News, because I try to get news from all sources. And I feel so sorry. I feel so sorry for the people, because you know what? The homeless rate has went up. It's skyrocketed because people have lost their jobs. They have lost their jobs. Plus the foreclosure rate is one. Plus, there are more individuals that are losing their automobiles. I'm not talking about somebody stealing it. I'm talking about individuals that got a loan to get an automobile. And Lord knows, I do not know how you can get an automobile and pay an $800 note. You know what? That would just kill me. $800 a month, man. I mean, there's some people, I'm not going to say they pay that type of rent, but I mean, because in the United States, in Chicago, rent now probably is about $1,500 or $1,600. But how could you get an automobile? And you know that the economy is bad. And you know it's a possibility that you may lose your job by looking at the climate of the country. And they're losing their automobiles. And what is subprime lending? Subprime lending is what I go into a car dealership. And what happens is my credit is not good. It's terrible. But you know what? They said, we're going to give you a loan. You think that you really did something, but you really didn't do anything. Because you know what? What subprime lending, they give you the automobile, but they charge you an interest rate of something like about 20 or 25 or 24%. So therefore, you feeling all good because you don't have to make a down payment. You don't have to put down $500 or $600 to get an automobile. But your endorphins give you joy. Okay, it's like an individual taking a drug or taking a drink. It gives you joy. Your joy, you're driving out the lot with that new automobile and showing off to your friends, but you don't think about the consequences because the economy just is in shambles. You know, it's I believe that the federal government, the Fed, I believe that what they're going to do is they're going to rise up interest rates again. And Hamburger 247, I thank you for telling me about my microphone. Appreciate that. And you call in if you want to, you know. But the thing is, they give you these loans. And I was looking at CNN and Fox News or MSNBC, the way they said there are 15,000 cars that have been repossessed almost by the repo man each and every day. And I feel sorry. I feel very sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the people that are homeless. And you know what? I was looking at something that was going on in the Philippines. I think it was the Philippines or China or something like that. And there were people that were hungry and they were going through the garbage can. You know, like the truck comes and it dumps. And what happens is it dumps the garbage in the garbage dump, and the people are like going through there looking for food. And hell, you know what? The inflation rate in the United States has gone so high. The inflation rate has just gone so high. It's chaotic. It's chaotic, man. You know what? I went into the grocery store and you know what, to buy some food. And you know what? $50 used to give me a whole bag or something else. I paid $50. But what did you pay? What do you think about what's going on? Do you think that the prices are just too high? Do you think that the federal government, by them going up on the interest rate, that they could slow down inflation? Do you think that? You know, I'm curious. I'm curious to know that. What do you think? And as we look at the news, also the federal government again. What's the bank? The Federal Reserve is just talking about going on the interest rate. How you know what? For people out there that understands microeconomics and macroeconomics, send me a message. I would like to know how, by them going up on the interest rate, how is this going to slow down inflation? And here it is. It's hard right now. You know, I have a very hard time understanding it, but I have to tell you something. I did not take microeconomics in college. I didn't do that. And there's something, pretty sure there's somebody out there that understands this. But but me myself, I don't understand how going up on the interest rate is going to slow down inflation. So if you feel like calling up, if you 312-884-9757, and my phone is on, and I'll take your question and I put it up to this little microphone that I got on the side, and you know what? You know what? That's something I will do, because I'm interested in knowing about people out there in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, in Canada, Africa, and Europe. Do you think that the inflation rate is just too high? Do you think that globally, because this is a global community now, I can reach out and touch somebody by putting my finger on it, but do you think that this inflation is going to get better? Do you think that it's going to slow down? Tell me, you know what? Leave me your comments, because you know what? I'm curious to know. And you know what? The other thing with the jobs, I want to ask people that are listening to this. A lot of jobs, a lot of big companies have moved overseas to China. They moved. Okay, I get it. And you know what? This has done damage to the United States of America. And economically, because people have lost jobs. If you lost your job, let me know how you lost your job. People have lost their houses. If you lost yours, let me know. And people are homeless right now. Somebody may be looking at this on the internet right now, and they're homeless, so they may see this later on. But I would like to ask people, and you know what? I believe that perhaps somebody out there has the answer. I would like to know, how can the United States of America, big military power, we are a big military power. I would like to know from somebody out there, how can the United States of America, which is strong militarily, how can we compete with China? Asia. I'm not going to say Asia. I'm going to say China. Taiwan. You know what? We cannot compete with Taiwan anyway, because you know what? They manufacture all of these ships. That's something that they do. But I want to know, for somebody out there, how can we compete with China? You know, I was talking to my friend David Coss. We talked. You know, and He said we could do it with food, but we're not the only in agriculture. How can we do it with food? And because of global warming, some people believe in global warming, some people don't believe in global warming. That's up to them, But this is what would tell my family. Because of global warming, the earth heating up, and so many crops dying, we're going to have a food shortage to a certain extent. And then that's going to put more demand. It's going to put more demand. That's something that's going to do. It's going to put more demand on the people. That's something that's going to do. So if we're having a crisis right now, when I go to the grocery store, and you know what? I'm buying something. And you know what the thing is? Like potato chips. I shouldn't be eating potato chips anyway. Because you know what? I cut back from eating potatoes. You can eat potatoes if you want to. But the thing is, it turns into sugar. Which you don't digest. That is not good for somebody that is borderline diabetic to eat potatoes, macaroni and cheese, and all that. But getting back to the point is there are a lot of things that are going on, and you go to the grocery store, they're giving you less food, but they're giving you the same package. Now they did a report on that on CNN and Fox News and MSNBC. This is a fact. So what happened is they're charging you more, but they're giving you less. So that's like me. I eat less meat now because you know what meat. Hey man, I love meat. I'm a carnivore, but there's some people that are vegans, okay, and it's okay with them. But I love meat, and you know what? I buy less meat. And one thing that I noticed, most people that are in the line at the grocery stores, at a Jewel's or Walmart or Piggly Wiggly or whatever store you go to, I noticed that they're buying more vegetables. I noticed that. I want to buy more vegetables. That's something that I'm doing. And you know what? I had so much fruit, and you know what? The man behind me, he said, we looked at each other and, man, look at what we going through. We didn't say it, and we just started laughing. I told the cashier, man, you know what? I'm buying more fruits and vegetables than meat these days, and I should have always been doing that anyway. And he said, you know what? Don't feel bad, man. You're not the owner. But the guy behind me had a link card. In the United States is a card where the government gives you a certain amount of money to go to the grocery store, which is a good thing. It's a good thing because the food prices have went up. But getting back to what I was saying about China, how can the United States tell me if I'm wrong? Tell me. And incidentally, if you went to the store and you notice that your portions of food inside your bags are getting smaller and you're paying more money, let me know. Share that with me. So I say, how can we compete with China? How? There's somebody out there that knows. There's somebody out there that is. There's somebody out there more brilliant. There's somebody out there smart. If you like this, you know what? Press subscribe. If you like this, give me a like or a dislike. So there's somebody out there that understands that how the United States can compete with China. And I tell you, I don't get it. See, if I had a business and you had a business, you're China. I'm just going to make you China, okay? And you had the ability to have your corporation pack up and leave the United States of America, okay? And I'm in competition with you, okay? How could I how could I do more mass production than you? How can I do more mass production than you? How? Because you moved to China. I'm still in the United States. Okay, you're paying your workers less. I'm paying my workers union wages. You don't have a union. You can get rid of the person with no problem in China. If I try to get rid of a person, fire them or lay them off, I have to go to EEOC, equal employment opportunity, to try to justify. In China, if you walk right in and just say, you know what, you are needed, it's really like working for it's like working for a charter school. Okay, there are people that work in charter schools. You have public schools in Chicago, and you have charter schools in Chicago and the United States. Okay, what happened is with a charter school, the principal could walk right in and say, leave. You know, can you do? If you don't want to leave, you will be escorted off of the premises. That's something that will happen. That's a fact. And what happened is, how can I compete with you if you're not paying your workers a living wage? And I got to pay my workers $20 an hour, $18 an hour. My people got a union. The people in China don't have a union. And they have millions of people to take their place. There's no question. If you put I don't know how China does it, but you put up an opening for a job, there are millions of people. Millions. Okay. Now, as you know, there are places in the United States right now where I'm going to say the pandemic, and I'm not going to talk about the pandemic. Before the pandemic, there were a lot of people that were working. It was a lot of people. When this incident happened, what happened is people started to re-examine things. They were at home and they re-examine things and they say, you know what, man, I ain't going to do this no more. And you know what? What I'll do is lay back and get the stimulus check. That's what I'll do. I'll lay back and get the stimulus check. That's something that I'll do. And they say, you know what? I'm not going back to work. You know what I'm saying, man? You know what? I can get a little part-time job. So therefore, there are a lot of job openings in Chicago right now as we talk. But there are a lot of people that do not want to go back to work. Okay. And then I guess they may be looking at, you know what, man, I stay off because you know what? I can actually get paid more. I can get paid more by staying at home instead of working on a job, making $13 or $10 an hour. Plus, I can get the subsidy from the government and I can hustle and make. Hustle means having a job where you're collecting money, cash, deleros, pesos, and the government knows nothing about it. But you know what? They got a news from the United States of America. I think it was in their budget that they're going to I know that they're going to hire more IRS people. It's something that they want. And congratulations. I want to say this for Joe Biden. For people that don't know, people that are like sleeping under a rock or something like that, President Biden just made where you went to college, if you had a student loan, that you can deduct $10,000 from. And you know, something that I don't get, the opposition is mad about it, they're frustrated about it. But you know what I just don't get? Tell me if that was a good thing or a bad thing what Joe Biden did. Was that a good thing or a bad thing? By giving people a reprieve that we're paying these outrageous loans with these outrageous interest rates. That was a good thing. But you know what? The other side, the opposition, say no, it's wrong. They need to pay their fair share. So you got people on one side of the aisle, people on the other side of the aisle. You got Democrats, you got Republicans, you got independents, you got conservatives, and you got liberals. Okay. So the other side said, how is it that these people don't have to pay they don't have to pay the $10,000? They get enough. But the thing is, I had to really think about it. I laughed about it. I said, wait a minute. And there was somebody on the television show. He does a report every single day. And I was listening to him. He was a bald head. I forgot his name, but I love his show. I want to have him on as a guest one day. But what happened is, I never heard the opposition complain when they bailed out big business and gave them billions of dollars. Never heard them complain. I didn't get it. But you know what? You may get it. If you get it, explain it to me. You know what? Hey, if you liking this broadcast, you know what? Hit the subscribe button, share, like, and leave me a comment. Okay. So I just didn't get it. How the opposition, I'm not going to say whether I'm a Democrat, Republican, I'm not going to say whether I'm an independent, I'm not going to say what I am. You probably know by listening. You know, but looks can be deceiving. But the opposition never said anything. The opposition never said anything about the federal bailout for big business when they were in trouble. But they raised HELL when little people that are trying to survive. To Joe Biden gave a reprieve, not a reprieve, but let them go from paying $10,000 on their loan rent if they went to college. I hope it was trade school too. I didn't get it. That's something that I just did not get. But you know what? You may understand it, and you know what? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me. Incidentally, if there's anything else that you want to talk about in the news that's not even related to this, you know what? Give me a call. I'll put something in the chat room, and you know what the little wisdom I have, I'll try to answer this. You're looking at the Underground Railroad podcast, okay? And this is on YouTube. And you know what? If you like this, share it. Share it with your social media networks that you are associated with. And what else is going on? Jobs. But getting back to China, I don't feel, if I was the United States, all you were China out there and you had workers, I don't feel that I could compete with you. Why don't I feel like because you can make products in mass quantities, value, for a much lower price than I could ever make it because of those other variables that I brought into play. Couldn't compete with you. And I think the only way, which I don't agree with, I think the only way part of the United States could compete is, hey, you know what, they put people to work in prison. Have them start producing products. You know, like in the South, they make them work. And you know what? They make them work. I don't know about the other situation, you know, but I'm saying that there are some people in there that are innocent. There are people in there that are innocent. There are people that are in there that are guilty. But the thing is, I always thought, you know, when it came to prison, that you should either be working or going to school. You should be given a choice. What do you think? Do you think if you go to prison that you should have to work go to school, or just lay back and look at television and just do your time? What do you think? What do you think? So I'm starting to believe that the only way that I could compete with you, if you're China and I'm the United States of America, I have a company and you got a company, the only way I could compete with you is by having prisoners work in prison. I think that's the only way. Now there's some people, like I said, there are people out there that are much smarter than me. Much smarter than me. Okay? But if I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know. So you know what? This is what's going on in the United States. I don't know. And you know what was interesting in the news? Getting to global news is what happened is Nancy Pelosi, which is a congresswoman in the United States of America. What happened is she went to Taiwan. Taiwan, for people that don't know, is right next to China. She went to Taiwan. Okay, she went there. But the Chinese president did not really want her to go because, China considers Taiwan to be part of the province. Okay, they consider it. And they did not like that. And Joe Biden and China President Xi, they helped their conversation. They helped the conversation. I heard it was a spirited conversation from what I read. And the China president, he had made a statement. He made a statement. He said, if she goes to China, not to China, to Taiwan, which is not far from China, it'll be like playing with fire. And you will get burnt. And you know something? Was it the right thing for Nancy Pelosi to go to China, to go to Taiwan? Should she had listened to what China president said? Do you think that it will cause, by her going to Taiwan, do you think that it will be a provocation? Do you believe that there will be something catastrophic, something bad that happened because she ignored what the president of China said? I don't think the president of China is really that bad. I think what he was doing is, it's like I'm dealing y'all cards. We playing poker. I got a medium hand. I put more chips there to make you believe I don't have a bad. I believe that the China president, I believe he was just popping off to see if he could get away with something, and Nancy Pelosi would not go to China. I believe that the China president, he was bluffing. I believe it. Okay. Because I don't see the China president is really wanting to go to war with the United States of America. Hey, what do you think? Do you think that China really wants to go to war with the United States of America? Let me know. And was it right for Nancy Pelosi to go to Taiwan? Okay. I figured that Nancy Pelosi, which incidentally, her husband failed the sobriety test. And you know what? Unfortunately, he was drinking and driving. But hey, man, that's happened to a whole lot of people. I don't justify it at all. I won't justify it, but you know what? This happened to a whole lot. My place is not to judge him, not at all. But it was just in the news, and I thought I'd just bring that up. But what happened is, I believe that Nancy Pelosi, in a way, she had to go to Taiwan. She had to. She had to. Okay, because I believe if you let somebody push you around and dictate to you what to do in your house, in your country, and the actions you're going to take, pretty soon they're going to feel superior. I think some of there are people that feel superior already. But I think that Nancy Pelosi, I think that she did the right thing, and I think that the China president, the PKP, I think that's the name of it. I think that he popped 9 times out of 10, he will get elected. But him, by holding his little military drills and all that, after Pelosi left, Congressman Pelosi left, doesn't mean anything. I think he's just popping off. I do not believe that China is prepared to go to war. I don't believe that. Okay, got to remember one thing: China is making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money, currency, getting a lot of currency for their goods and manufacturing goods from the United States of America. And he bluffed because it would be more catastrophic for the China president to attempt to do something like that. And Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden called his bluff. And he lost their poker game. He lost. You know, it's like an individual that's saying, has a line and say, you know what, man, I dare you if you cross that line. And see what you do to a bully? You cross that line. You do. Most of the time. And that's what happened to China. And you know what, she is, the president of China, really, he disgraced himself. You know, he wasn't going to do anything. You know what, because when Nancy Pelosi's plane was coming, they didn't fire a warning shot at her plane, which I'm glad they didn't. They didn't shoot up flares. That's somebody that's just popping off. I think that's what she does. He pops off. He tries to pick on a little province of Taiwan, which they have the right to be they have a right to be a democratic province. They have a right. And people that don't know Taiwan, they produce a lot of silicone chips that goes into these automobiles. So I think that if China did attempt to do something to Taiwan, I think that she understands that provocation would be catastrophic to China. Not just physically, but economically. He understands that. But he has to put up this big thing as being a strong man in front of the Chinese people. He has to do that. He looks strong. But he ain't that bad. Because you know what? The United States had drones and submarines. Not to say that they don't have the same thing, but you know what? Their aircraft carriers are not even made to come far. They're just not. So, what did Donald Trump say? Donald Trump said something about Xi and Korea. He said, man, we got the most powerful weapons He said, I could have caused problems, but he said, you notice one thing, we never got in a war. And it just wasn't worth it. So Nancy Pelosi, that was great. But there's people that disagree with it. They disagree again about the people, about college students getting getting their loans paid off. There are people that disagree, that think that Pelosi, Congressman Pelosi, should not have went to Taiwan. But when you look at it, it was a consensus. It was ironic. The Republicans and the Democrats and the Independents, even though they may oppose Nancy Pelosi, they say she has the right to go to Taiwan. She has the right. So, President Xi, you lost. And you know what the world saw? No matter how you try to puff yourself up to your people, and no matter how you try to stand before a military parade and look like you got all that, you lost. You lost the poker game. Actually, the game was rated anyway. See, you're not smart enough to know that Nancy Pelosi probably wouldn't have won without the president's approval anyway. Not smart enough. It's funny to me. That's what I could say. And you know what? Talking about some other news. You know what? Miss Brittany, that played for the Phoenix Mercury basketball team in the United States of America. She is locked down. She is locked down in the Soviet Union. Not the Soviet Union, Russia. Soviet Union was broken. She's locked down. Does she deserve to be locked down? Does she deserve... Well, what happened to her? She tried to bring something that the Russians consider to be illegal. I think it was hemp, a CBC oil, and I'm guessing on that, out of the country. And what happened is they put her in shackles, locked up, gave her a trial, and she is in prison. She's in prison right now in the Soviet Union. Not Soviet Union, in Russia right now. She's in prison. And you know what? I feel sorry for her. But there's a group of people that said, why am I going to feel sorry for her? Why? Why am I going to feel sorry for her? She knew what the consequences was before she went to Russia. Okay? I think it's taking it. I think that it's taking it to the extreme. But I think under normal circumstances, I believe that Miss Brittany, she has loved ones that are waiting for her to come back to the United States. Dennis Rodman, who was a basketball player for the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons and the LA Lakers, I believe that he's got authorization to fly over to Moscow. And, you know, he probably won't talk to Putin, to talk to a negotiator to try to get Brittany, that used to play for pro women basketball league, Phoenix Mercury basketball to get her out of prison. So Dennis Rodman, hey man, you know, but I don't know. Do you think Dennis Rodman should be allowed to go over there to do that? Do you think that Dennis Rodman should mind his own business? Do you think that this should be left just for the diplomats? He was a heck of a basketball player, okay? And he's friends with the guy in North Korea. I think his name is Mr. Kim Jao Ming. I'm probably watching his name. But should Dennis Rodman have the right to go to try to get Brittany the basketball player from the United States, the lady, released. Is it right? I say if he's successful. But I believe that what happened in Russia, them keeping their young lady. By the way, if you like this, subscribe, press the like button. I believe what happened is this. I believe that Russia, I'm not going to say the Soviet Union, I believe that Russia, they say, if we keep Miss Brittany over here, you know what, the United States, they have one of our prisoners that is notorious arms dealer. And because of Brittany's status and her playing for the WNBA, Women's Basketball League, it would be enough news to give some people outraged. Why isn't she released? Why did y'all do this to make a prisoner swap? Okay, from what I understand is Russia, there's a lot of world pressure. There's a lot of pressure in the United States of America. Because you know what? And you know what they said? Russia said, you know what? Not only that, we're going to get our guy out of Germany. They have a prisoner in Germany. I don't know if he was arms dealer or whatever. He was notorious, you know. And what he did, I don't know if he was a bureaucrat. I don't know if he was an aristocrat. I don't know what he was. But so they said, if we put enough pressure and just bide our time, what we'll do is we will end up swapping Miss Brittany, the Phoenix Mercury basketball player, WNBA, and get 2 prisoners back. Okay, from the United States of America and Germany. We won, you know. And for people that are watching, do you think that this swap should be made? Do you think that it should be made? No. Should that swap be made? Should it? You know, I sit with a group of fellows. I'm sympathetic. I sit with a group of fellows in the morning. Okay. Top 10. Let me see. Howard the Great. And all these guys, you know. And they say, no, man, she got exactly what she deserved. I don't want to be hard-hearted like that. I don't want to. I don't. You know, maybe it's because somebody called me so, but that's the guys, and I'm not going to forget Jesse and Tony. We drank coffee in the morning. We drank coffee at McDonald's trying to solve the world problems, but the reality is, this is the reality. Man, we can't change one policy. You know, you ever go to a restaurant and you just saw old timers sitting around? Yeah, I'm an old timer. See all this gray I got. And we just sit around and just talk. And you know what? Actually, it's a good social activity. It's good socially for me. You know what? It's good socially for them. We sit around trying to solve the world's problems. We talk about cosmopolitan things. And we have fun. Okay. And what happened? I had a guy today ask me, why you got a Yankees hat on? You from New York? I said, no, man, my grandfather was from New York. He wasn't from New York. He loved New York and saw those lights. And he said, you know what? Left everything behind, but he came back to Chicago. Okay. Anyway, probably why I'm here. But 9 times out of 10. But anyway, it's like, I believe that Brittany should get some leniency, but like I said, people that I sit with and drink coffee with, they don't happen to believe it. They don't believe that Brittany deserves anything. And it's just kind of hard. It's just kind of hard for me. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to understand. And you know what? We have a poll question. You know what? Do you think, this is real quick, do you think that the United States, economically, do you think that the United States of America will be in a better economical state next year? Do you think so? It's a yes. It's a no. I'm not sure. Some people, hey, you know what? And some people just don't care. You know what? That's their right not to care. You know what? Because you have one thing about it. You know what? You have a freedom of choice. You know, this is not a communistic society that I live in the United States of America. And I'm interested to know. And you know what? At the end, you know what? If somebody remind me, if I forget, you know what? I'm going to share those. I'm going to share it. So, Brittany, oh, I feel so sorry for you, sister. But like I said, the people that I drink coffee with, they don't feel sorry for you at all. But just stay right. And that, so, you know, these are things like the war that is going on with the Ukraine and NATO in the United States of America. Do you think that the United States should be involved in that war? Do you think the United States should be involved? You know, it's some people that say, hey, wait a minute. Once upon a time, the USSR tried to put missiles in Cuba. Okay. Cuba is like 150 miles or 200 miles away from the United States of America. And our president at the time was John F. Kennedy. He's a great president. He was. You know, I sort of remember what was done to him, and you know what? I feel sorry for the family because you know what? I believe if he would have had time, I believe he was a great president. I really do. You know, and got assassinated. I believe that he was a great president. And Lee Harvey Oswald. Some people say Lee Harvey Oswald did it. Some people say he didn't do it. Some people say it was just a conspiracy. I don't know. You know, one day I'm going to do research on it. And what happened is, once upon a time, the United States of America, they told Khrushchev, who was the premier of the Soviet Union, our USSR at that time, that if you put missiles in Cuba, there will be dire consequences. He said this. Okay, I read this. You know, I can read. Okay, I can read. You know, it's like the man saying, I could dance. Okay, but what happened is the Soviet USSR said, you know what, it's not worth a provocation our world war to put missiles in Cuba, which is about, I think, 150 miles, 200 miles. And I may be off because you know what, I'm guessing on that, but it's close. And I believe that Russia, I believe this. I believe that when NATO say, you know what, we're going to bring the Ukraine into NATO, and they're bordering country, they're real close to each other, and Russia probably say, you know what, just like the situation that happened in Cuba, with missiles pointing it could have been pointing at the United States. They said, wait a minute. If they become an ally of NATO, if they become an ally, there will be missiles pointing at us. And they feel just as offended as John F. Kennedy felt about missiles being put in Cuba where Fidel Castro was. They had pigs. He would have had missiles pointing at Florida and other. And I believe, and you know what, I'm saying that because you know what, this is what in college, they call this contrast and comparisons. And all I'm doing is giving a contrast and comparisons. That is what I'm doing. And you know what? I sat down. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't think about it on my own. Okay. I didn't think about it on my own. You know what? I was listening to, I think it was CNN News or MSNBC News. And you know what? They brought up that contrast and comparisons. And I said, you know what? I never thought about that. Did you ever think about it? Okay. Oh, it's time. Don't be alarmed, y'all. That is prayer time for Muslims in the United States. It is right now. I'm not going to say Maghrib. I'm going to say it's Maghrib right now. Maghrib, Muslims, that's the fourth Salah. So what happened is, I believe that it's like a contrast and comparisons. I believe that they're very similar. Do you think they're similar? Please let me know. If you don't think that they're similar, let me know. If it just sounds strange what I'm saying. And I'm looking at it, but you know what? I'm hoping for peaceful resolution because I don't want to see somebody get into. I don't want to see somebody get into a situation where it's more catastrophic. It's bad. It's badder than what it is. Because you know what? It's all about saving some lives. It's all about saving some lives. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to see anybody get bombed out. And you know what? I think the best thing to do is negotiate. To talk, to sit down. Putin with Russia and the Ukraine, and President Xi of China and Taiwan. I think it's better for them to come together collectively and be in a room and sit down and have their negotiators meet. And then after they iron out everything, then those leaders come together and you know what? And then they finalize things. Because what is happening in Ukraine, there is a domino effect. Okay? There's a cause and effect. So, United States shipping military arms there. You know what? And drones. I don't know. I don't think Russia's prepared for drones, and I don't think the China's prepared for drones or something catastrophic. I don't believe that. You know, but there's something catastrophic that can happen, and the end result is we're looking at an economical meltdown, almost economical collapse. We're almost looking at that because of products that were shipped from Ukraine to other parts of the country. They can't do that. So what that has done, that has made inflation go up. It has made inflation rise. And just think. You know, Lord knows I'm no diplomat. think if those weapons that the Ukraine have the capability, of reaching Russia, and I read that some of that equipment does have the ability, rockets and all that have the ability to reach Russia. And if the Ukraine happens to shoot off a missile and it lands in Russia, this would be catastrophic. I tell you my health, this would be catastrophic. This has the potential to bring in the whole world and be a World War III. I think in a situation where, where there's World War III, I do not believe that there would be anyone else. I don't believe that. Because this is the reason I don't believe this. I don't believe that because Russia has the ability, has nuclear capabilities. China has nuclear capabilities. The United States has nuclear capabilities. Iran, which has nothing to do with it, but Iran leader just had a meeting with the Russian leader, Putin. They have nuclear capabilities. And something like this, nobody wins. Nobody. If you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. If you don't think I know what I'm talking about, you know what, let me know. If you think I'm talking crazy, let me know. Nobody wins in a situation like this. By the way, if you like this, I ask that you press the subscribe button to my YouTube platform. We are seeking to get more subscribers. And if you like this, hey, put a like on. Press the little hand that says like. And there's a little button that says share. And share it. And we welcome new subscribers. We're always looking for new subscribers. And if you have ideas about shows that you would like and things that you would like to talk about, but I'm going to start having some contests. And also, I think I'm going to have some affiliate links at the bottom. I'm working on that. You know what? Because I don't think all the people that made a donation to help this platform to grow. You know what? You should have seen this platform when I first got started. I didn't know what I was doing. But anyway, you don't want to hear that. But I want to say is that this is almost like a war. I'm going to get it, man. I mean, it's I don't know. What do you do? What do you do? What do you want to do? Oh, yeah, I want to send a quick shout out there to my mother, Miss Love. Her birthday is coming up, and I am looking forward to it. Not going to say where I'm going. I just keep that to myself. Yeah, it's 80 years old. A lot of people can't say that, but I'm not bragging. My love to you, mother. Mom, if you're looking at this, somebody you know. But the thing is, I don't celebrate birthdays, but my mother celebrates birthdays, and it means something to her. And you know what? It's something that says, you know what? Paradise lies at thy mother's feet. I believe that. I can be distant sometimes, because sometimes I can be very introverted. Man. But people's personality. So like I say, this is what's going on, and I think that it's imperative that the big leaders sit down and try to iron out their differences. And I I started to wonder to myself, not about nationalism, but should it be just separated? The way, you know what, you mind your business, I mind my business. But can we do that? Do you think we can do that? I don't think we can do that to a certain extent, because there are leaders out there that love to oppress. They love to oppress the downtrodden. And they do heinous things. NATO is good. NATO is good. I would say NATO is good. There's one side and there's another side. And here's the last question. In the poll, I got a poll, and I would like for you to answer the poll. Do you believe that the United States of America will be in a better economical state in year 2003 and beyond? Do you believe that? Yes, no, you don't care. Hey, this guy don't know what he's talking about. It's a question. Okay. And so if you could the poll, I have a poll that you could answer that. You know what? Maybe I have to go to it and share it. Like I said, I'm still learning this. But you gotta give peace a chance. The Beatles said. Give peace a chance. It could be Strawberry Hill Forever. I don't think it would be Strawberry Hill Forever. That was a song by the Beatles that came from England. I think they came from Liverpool. Okay, not Australia, Liverpool, England. But that's something we got to do. We got to. I just don't see it. I don't see it. So people, then, you know what? If you enjoy this broadcast, there is a like button. Press it. There is a share button. You can share this on you can share this on Facebook. You can share it on Tumblr, Prius. You can, and all these other social media platforms, because you know we are seeking to grow this platform. And you know what? In order to grow this platform, I'm asking, we need you to subscribe. We need you to, there's enough love here. Join our family. Join our YouTube family. Okay? Because I'm going to start doing more broadcasting like this, you know. And there's somebody always on YouTube. But the people that are looking at this, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't say anything that was disrespectful or hateful or heinous, because you know what? I'm looking at the news. I am an avid news. I'm a news junkie. Okay. And you're looking at this t-shirt right here, incidentally, of a company in Chicago, the United States of America. We have video production services in Chicago. And you can dial that telephone number 312-884-9757. And thank you for the underwriters. I want to thank Citizen, Suburban Newspaper, the Muslim Journal. They are in Chicago, so you know what, patronize them. And Stan, which is my barber. If my hair looks bad, it's not because of him, it's because of me. Okay. And SHAYMAR Media Production. So we create television shows in Chicago, Illinois, but things are kind of slow right now. Why? Everything is slow right now for some people, because we have these catastrophic things. These things that have happened have it has impacted people's lives. That it has done. And I'm gonna try to get Dr. Lee Warren on, Power Lady Man. I'm gonna try to get David Koss back on. He's my partner. We did a show. But YouTube, you know what? I ask you to go to our YouTube platform and subscribe. Okay, and I'm going to go back to try to see what did the polls say. Do you think that the country will get better in 2003? And wow, I'm like, wow, 67%. 67% said no. I don't. 67%. Well, okay. Now let me read the polls. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Okay. 33% of the people, no matter where you are, they say they believe that the United States of America, the world, will be in a better economical state. They believe that. To keep hope alive. Jesse Jackson always say. I'm not trying to mock him. I like, you say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, but 67% of the people say that they do not believe that the United States will be in a better state, a better condition in 2003 and beyond. Oh, I had to read this. And you know what I want to think specifically. I want to thank all of the people that participated. Oh, very thankful for that. But there's one person watching and nobody watching, because you know what, somebody once told me, man, how do you know you're doing something? How do you know you're doing something that's going to impact somebody's life? Do a lot of people got to see it? In my opinion, a lot of people don't have to see it. For me, because I'm not arrogant like that, if one person sees it, I carried out my mission statement. Because see, the thing with this, sometimes it's good if you got 1 million people listening to you, but you know what? I believe I will get whatever I get. I will get whatever God wants me to have. I will get whatever Allah wants me to have. Whatever Allah does not want me to have, it's okay. Because you know what? But this would be in cyberspace, and you don't know whose life it will impact. So most people it might not mean nothing, but it might be one person. And some people say you need a lot of people and you need to see them. You need to see the action. But see, if you're in a forest and nobody, see my phone, say this is a tree, and a tree falls down, boom, and nobody hears in the city. That does not mean that the tree did not fall down. I laugh at people. I listen to people like that. You know what? Some people, business is about the numbers. But for me, I'm trying to get half a knot. Half a knot is blessings. Because see, your numbers in the dunya, your claps, your pat on the backs, you my main man, you cool on the day of judgment, that ain't gonna make no difference anyway. So I listen to people like that, and you know what? I laugh. Because you know what? It shows I'm talking about when they're beating their chests. It shows me their mindset. It shows me their arrogance. But people have a right They have a right to be who they truly are. They have a right to do that. But I look at them and they don't know. In my head, I'm laughing. I'm laughing. And I'm saying to myself, listen to him. Listen to her. I said, Maya Angelou, who was a great poet, great. I'm going to do a show on Maya Angelou. Oprah Winfrey. Loved her. She's Oprah Winfrey. And she probably got this from somebody. I listen to people and I observe. Once people show you who they are, you better believe them. But take in consideration, anybody can have a bad day. I'm talking about on a consistent basis. I'm going to repeat that. Once people show you who they really are, you better believe them. If they're selfish, you'll see that. If they proud and think more of themselves, beat on their chest, and think more of themselves than what they are, you'll see that. If they constantly talk about themselves, massaging their own ego, I laugh about it. I laugh about it. Because you know what? I'm learning. I think my way. That you can learn a lot of people. You can learn a lot about it by listening to a person and observing their behavior. Not for a little while, for a while. See, just because a person don't say nothing, it does not mean they don't know what's going on. I learned that from something I also learned from former Chicago alderman Virgil Jones. I forgot what ward in the United States of America. Alderman Virgil Jones. I learned that from other people. People talk. They brag. They think more of themselves than what they are. But see, what it exhibits to me is, people got a right to do what they want to do. They are exhibiting attributes of the Shaitan, our devil, our demon. They love dunya. They love earth. Look at me. I'm important. I'm somebody. I got numbers. I got status. I got standards. So what? On the day of judgment, that ain't gonna make no difference anyway. So for me, if I got one person listening to me, I pray that I get half of that. I pray that I get blessings. That's more important to me than 1 million, 10,000, 5,000, 1,000 people looking at me. That doesn't mean I don't want more people, but not even a leaf drops off the tree without God's permission. Not even a leaf falls off the tree without Allah's permission. So I know I will get what Allah wants me to have. And what Allah doesn't want me to have, no matter how smart I am, or how brilliant I think I am, I won't achieve it anyway. So seek refuge in Allah. Seek refuge in God. I tell y'all something. That's the most important thing, because all these material things, they ain't gonna make no difference anyway. Believe me. Everybody, people that are listening to me, you're closer to the grave than when you started this journey. Seek refuge in God, not material things, because this is material deception. Everything Everything that you see on earth, all of it's going to dissipate. All of it's going to go away. All of it. When the angel, Gabriel, comes back and choose the horn, this whole earth will be flattened. If you don't understand it, you have a right to understand what you want to understand. You have a right. Okay. One thing about it, there's no compulsion, but you have a right to understand what you want to understand, what you don't want to understand. But I got a right to lay seeds, and you know what? And I'm not so foolish because I don't see nobody come to Islam. I'm not Islam that it didn't affect somebody's life. Oh, somebody told me that. Well, what have they done? What can you see? It ain't about what you see. It ain't about what you see. It's about what Allah God sees. You don't know whose life you're gonna affect. You don't know. But try to have a positive attitude. So, my friends, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to say, Assalamu alaikum, and I'm going to say thank you, Shukran, thank you for looking at the Underground Railroad television show. We come on into the United States, in Chicago, Illinois. I'm not going to say when, And it's a special shout out to Kennedy King College. Kennedy King College is in Chicago at 63rd, I think, in Hosted. And I want to thank you to all my instructors, Mr. Abraham, Professor Abraham, and Professor Dow, for giving me knowledge to go beyond where I was last year. And all the YouTube people that give instructions on video production, I want to thank y'all. I want to say thank you to the YouTube family and all, because I'm learning. And I like to have y'all on. And I'm learning. But Kennedy King College in Chicago, in the United States of America, 63rd and Halsted. Like I said, special thank you to Professor Dow, who was a lady that she taught me about audio, and Professor Abraham taught me about business principles, not microeconomics or macroeconomics. He made me understand, and I see if I continue on getting education, I see the world in an entirely different way. That doesn't mean that I'm better. I had a teacher named Mr. Glover. If I get a PhD, I still take my hat off to him because he helped me to build my foundation. And me not taking off my hat to him, he's gone now. It would be disrespectful, and it would show ingratitude, and I would be exhibiting attributes to the devil. So Mr. Donnell Glover Media, Glover's Media Communication, he's gone now, but he's always with me in my heart, because when I started this journey, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I knew what I was doing. But like I say, thank you to Kennedy King, and I look forward, if it's Allah's will, to get back to school to to raise up my knowledge, to raise it up, my intellect. Because if I know, if I don't go back to school, it's Allah's will, I will be in the same position intellectually about TV production that I am this year. And one thing about my mother, Catherine Bradley Love, she always taught me about getting education. From being a truck driver to being security, mental health technician, to being a food supervisor at Statesville Prison in Joliet, Illinois. She always told me about education. And like I said, It's Allah's will, I want to get that degree. Not for anybody else, but for me. Whether we have an economical crisis, things just don't turn around. You know how you start something, but you want to finish it. You know what? That takes discipline. But most of all will be by God's will, will be by Allah's will. If I finish that and get my degree, and if I make it off this broadcast, it's all right. Whatever Allah's will. So I'm going to say assalamu alaikum. Like I said, if you like this broadcast, share it. If you hated it, put a bad on it. If you liked it, put me a thumbs up. But, say again, we're looking for new subscribers to our YouTube website. We want to grow our YouTube website. We want to grow. We don't want to be in stagnation. Stagnation means at a standstill. You're in the same position that you was last year. We want to grow. And you know what? I implore to you, but to grow, we need your help. And I say that humbly. We need you to press that subscribe button. So, goodbye to the people in Canada, United States, Central America, UK, Brazil, Peru, Europe, Asia, Africa, Indonesia, Asia. I know there's Muslims over there in China. I'm sorry about y'all being persecuted over there. But you got people praying for you. You got people praying for you. UK. Okay. And you know what? It's a country that they always, people don't even talk about. I'm going to say Alaska. Somebody may be looking at Alaska. Yeah, man. I mean, maybe in the igloo. No, I'm just kidding about the igloo. But I mean, I'm pretty sure you have Eskimos that live in igloos. But you know what? Alaska and Hawaii. Hawaii, Jamaica. I love this. I love the Jamaica funk. This is a song. Jamaica, France, Algeria. I'm just Zimbabwe, Japan. Thank you. Thank you. Australia. I called Australia 3 times. I don't know why, but I did. I was once in the Navy, and we thought we was gonna go to Australia. It just didn't work out. But I had a different mind back then anyway. You know, Indonesia. Oh wow, man. Pakistan, India. All of these great countries. We need to come together. And not be at war with anybody. Live in peace. Okay. Peace and blessings be upon people that are watching. And say assalamu alaikum to everybody. If you're looking at the Underground Railroad television show, we do a television show that comes on every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Central Time in Chicago. But we come on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So subscribe. Thank you. It's time for me to go make my prayers. If God allows me to get upstairs, but Allah knew my intentions. So thank you to the people that took time out of their day to listen to me disseminate information. I'm very appreciative. So don't forget, in the United States of America, look at the shirt. We do. SHAYMAR Media Productions does video production in Chicago, and we can make a business from a shoot and television show. and film your events. And I got some pretty good editors. You know, if you want some video editing, give me a call. Telephone number is 1-312-884-9757 in the description. And when I get my affiliates, please support the affiliates because this helps to support the channel so we can bring you better shows. And we welcome your suggestions, your comments, and your constructive criticism. Yeah, I say constructive criticism because this is how we grow. We don't always grow by somebody patting us on the back and saying that we don't mean constructive. I remember a guy gave me criticism named Air Feeders, and you know what? I appreciate that for him. I invited him on the show. He didn't care for the show, but I sent him an invitation. But I learned more from him. Because I said, he was looking at me from a different standpoint. Actually, I learned something. Air Feeders, if you out there, thank you. The other guy I had on that did not like my television show. Got his name. Thank you. Because that was Air Feeders and the other guy, that was a precious jewel that you gave me by telling me there were things that you did not like. Because you know what? I don't care how good you may think you are in your mind, there's always room for improvement. Always. So I'm going to get up here. Lord knows I could talk for another hour, but you know what? It's essential that I get up and make my prayers and make my salams. Thank God, thank Allah. Yeah. Hope that you would investigate Islam. Come to Islam. But no force. No, I'm not trying to force anybody because there's no compulsion in Islam. But just investigate. You know, but if you want to hold true to what you do, that's you. You have a right. Because people have a right to make decisions for themselves. Okay? Nothing. Just thing, okay? So that's a wrap up. I'm gonna wrap it up. Lord knows I can talk for another hour. But so I'm just not going to do that. Thank you for everybody that watched. I'm gonna say, hey, good night, good evening, good morning.